Hi, I'm Cristina Smith, creator of the award-winning best-selling Yoga for the Brain series with my brother, puzzle master Rick Smith. Today we are celebrating the release of Inspired Wisdom Word Search Yoga for the Brain, featuring 60 contributing authors. Today we have with us Alessandra Gilioli, author of Puzzle Number 54, Soul Identity. I'm so excited to have you here, Alessandra. Thanks for joining us.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I feel like a galactic gypsy. And I'll just try to explain that. So I grew up in Italy, but I attended a British school and I have an American mother. So I grew up around 3 different cultures and I just love to travel.
And you're an artist, right?
That too.
That too. Yeah, I'm in the back of Yoga of Inspired Wisdom Word Search. There are many bios of all of the different authors, as well as if you go to the dedicated author showcase website at www.inspiredwisdomwordsearch.com, you can find out more about these amazing authors. But just looking at Alessandra here, she is so multi-talented. Oh my goodness. She is an international intuitive teacher, author, and visionary artist. She's created the Galactic Oracle cards, sold in 33 countries and translated to 3 different languages, and so much more. Oh, those are beautiful, Alessandra. Thank you.
Thanks. These oracle cards came about because I was doing intuitive readings for people around the world. And so, for example, this was a client in Australia, and this image came to me and I drew it. So a lot of what I bring in is the idea of, and it ties into the message in the book or the page that I did, what is your soul identity? And I think we're magical for many different reasons, and we all have our different stories. And I think that, well, being an artist, I feel like we have different symbols that get to speak to us in different ways. And I think that's what makes things so exciting for each individual person, is that we have our different stories that form our identity.
You're right. I mean, what you say in here in Soul Identity is we are magical beings. We are here for a sacred purpose. We are multidimensional souls. So we've all traveled through the universe to be here now, and we're all here together at this time. Could you talk a little bit about that and what you mean by all of that?
I'm just happy that message came to me, because then when I received this book in hand, I'm like, this book exemplifies the message that I was saying. I was so excited to see all these different people with so many different abilities and talents, and giving their specific message now, and how valuable each message is of the person, but also the story they have lived. And so I think there's a great mystery for us to unfold. And I feel as though, how sometimes we want to compare ourselves to others.
Yeah.
Am I enough? Am I enough? Am I enough? And then sometimes, well, very rarely do we get to value our unique story. And so what I want to push out there is, well, what's the story of our soul? What have we gathered? What talents do we have? And how to bring them out in the here and now. And when I hold a book like this, I'm like, yay, it's a big chorus and there's more people doing it, and we're all celebrating the differences, but we're all saying something so similar in such a orchestra. And so I'm just thinking there's magic to us. So let's encourage each other to hold on to that and to spark it.
I agree with you. So what would you say to someone who felt like that they really didn't know what their soul gift, or didn't even know they really had one?
Actually, that's kind of it's tricky and hard, because we've heard it over and over again. So it's 2 things. It's like, follow your passion, whatever excites you. But often, whatever really excites you, and I'll give an example, is what we're also really afraid of. So I teach in Japan. Every time I go, or anytime I get on stage, I get a bit of a panic attack. And then you start wondering, why am I doing this? And it's like, because I love it. And so I think that those are the 2, they go together. But when you get past the fear in whatever method that you can, then there's I really feel that we access our soul gifts, and then you feel so fulfilled.
What if you feel like you're at a place in your life where you can't follow your passion? What would you advise somebody in that position?
I feel like there's a lot of little tricks that we can do throughout the day, or just one trick that we can do once a day, either before falling asleep or right when you're waking up. And it's to think, how am I magical? What, it's almost being silly in a way, or because I'm very visual and I work with visualizations or painting, I do this to myself. I do this exercise with myself, and a lot of times I'll just have like a sparkly fairy image, or a lot of times a funny image will pop in my head and I'll say, I'll go with that. And but it's usually something quite uplifting, and it only takes you a few moments to work and play with your imagination in that way, and you can shift your mood, you know.
So you would say, think of something uplifting and see if you can, however you envision things, either with words or through a picture or however it works for you. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
And do you do that right before you go to bed, right?
I do.
Oh.
And if nothing pops in my head, because that might require more energy, I just imagine myself now. That's what works with me, is that I'm in a giant crystal and I'm going on an adventure.
Well, that's pretty sparkly.
Yes,
But people could pick their own image, their own kind of fallback image if they don't have
yes.
another image come into their head.
Yeah.
Something that makes them really happy, like a flower or a butterfly or
Yeah.
a hummingbird or whatever it might be, right?
Absolutely. You got it.
Well, great. Thank you, Alessandra. This is really helpful advice, I know, for so many of our readers. Could you just tell me what kind of puzzles you like to do?
So, such a coincidence, because my absolute favorite forever has been word search.
Woo!
Always. And I love it. I'll look at this, you know, you look at that, and then you look at the words, and the way I love it is that I think I program myself. You read the word and the word might be yoga, right? Yoga for the brain. And then you stare there and you get almost too intense. You're like, no, relax. And then I say, okay, right side of the brain, it's your turn. And artistically, the word will like pop up, and it feels like it's a game of being intuitive, and it's a game of moderating left and right brain. And it's about being focused, but also relaxing. So I love it.
You know what I like to do sometimes is just look at the grid and don't even look at the words, just look at the puzzle grid and then see what pops out.
Yeah. I enjoy doing that too.
It might not even be a word on the word list.
Yes, right. To me, it feels like, well, I want to call it like a happy high, or you get a hit. That's how it works for me.
It's like a happy high is called a dopamine brain bliss rush. That's a brain
Wow.
chemical. The brain chemical dopamine, which is your happy chemical, when you accomplish something like a puzzle, it releases this happiness to keep you go back for more positive puzzling.
There it is. I mean, it really, it is. That's what it feels like. It's a happy high. And that's why I feel good about myself when I do it.
Well, look at how wonderful that you get to give people a lot of happy highs through the power of positive puzzling and help them bring more health and happiness into their life through the power of positive play. Thank you so much, Alessandra. Thank you for your contributions. Have a great time in Japan and enjoy.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.